Hello there. My name is Mo with my co-host Corey. We are the Real Guys, and this is the Real Show with two E's. Corey, I want your best Wolverine claw ignition noise.
Shink.
Shink. Because we are doing X2.
Correct.
That's right.
Not the first one.
No, we've already done the first one. We're doing X2. As always, I'm accompanied by my co-host Corey. How are you doing today, Corey?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Of course. Now, after the amazing release of Deadpool and Wolverine, broke $1 billion at the box office, big money for Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, and we're covering the classic, the original X-Men series of films. Now, we're on to X2,
Correct.
X-Men United. Now, have you seen this film before, Corey?
As in before we watched it for the show?
Yes.
I have.
Did you catch it in 2003, perhaps?
I don't know if I caught it in 2003. I definitely remembered parts of this film, so I've definitely seen it before. Maybe not all of it, but definitely parts of it.
Right.
What
is the iconography of this film, Corey?
The only part that I really remember was the part where we're at Bobby's house and Pyro just decides to burn everyone.
Right, no, okay. Okay, we have different memories, because I also have a lot of memories of X2.
Yeah.
Mostly from, AMVs in the 2000s.
Yeah.
But
Bit of Paralyzer.
The opening, yes, but the opening of this film especially.
Yeah.
When Nightcrawler, played by Jim Cummings, is just jumping and flipping around, teleporting everywhere, taking out Secret Service dudes, that sort of action-packed, ethereal opening of him sort of going, can I, perhaps for the now X-Men noises, can I get your Nightcrawler teleportation noise?
I can't remember what it sounds like. It's just like a, what is it? Is it like a puff? What is it?
It might be a puff. I'm going to do more of like an inhale, like a...
Well, that makes more sense, yeah, a bit more...
But maybe a puff is better, because there's like a puff of smoke, isn't there? Like that. That'll be good. That'll be good for Foley.
I was going to say, get us into Foley.
Yeah. Directed by Bryan Singer and written by... the writing credits of a man called David Hayter.
Okay, now, that sounds very familiar.
If it's the David Hayter, I don't believe it to be. But I believe it's... Hold on, I think it might be.
No, are you looking this up right in a moment?
Yeah. I think it might be the David Hayter, the voice actor. So yes, it appears to be. So congratulations, David Hayter, for writing X2. Good on you. I thought for a second it could be David Harbour, who plays... who's very famous for Stranger Things and Hellboy and things like that. But no, it's David Hayter, the voice actor, the voice of Lugnut in Transformers Animated. So go on, David Hayter. And starring all your favourites, Hugh Jackman, Ian McKellen, Halle Berry as Storm, Famke Janssen, James Martin, good old beef stew pot, we like him, we love him, on screen.
Yes.
Exactly. Engage, number one. Engage. Can I have we've got to add the Patrick Stewart impression, Corey, while we're going.
What does he say?
What would Patrick Stewart say?
Wait, are we doing Patrick Stewart or Xavier? Which one are we doing?
I'm doing Captain Picard, apparently. I'm doing Captain Picard. Wesley, Dr. Crusher, we've got to find the Kardashians.
There's that clip of him and Ian McKellen, and they're both on stage. He's like, "Would you trust a word from a farmer's wife?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Considering I'm the farmer, yes."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That works. You motherfuckers! I gotta kill all my lilies. You ever seen that clip?
I've seen that clip.
And he just starts firing into the ground.
I've seen that clip.
Yeah, we should attach that clip. That's great.
You motherfuckers are gonna kill all my lilies!
And of course, we have Anna Paquin as Rogue and Rebecca Romaine doing Mystique.
Yep.
And so we have some new additions to the X-Men
There is some
series.
new people.
One of the big ones is Mr. Succession himself, Brian Cox, as William Stryker, who is a fantastic antagonist. He's a
really good villain.
He carries the film in some ways. Obviously everyone carries the film because everyone's they've got a fantastic cast, the all-star cast. But as a villain, I think William Stryker is more villainous in a way than even Magneto in the first film.
I could definitely see an argument for that. I'll probably agree.
Because he is a completely anti-mutant enemy, right? Obviously, Magneto is anti-human, but when he's on the side of the mutants, who we're trying to sympathise with here, it's like you can sort of see his point of view. As one of the quiz questions says, are they really enemies? But
apparently they're not.
But Stryker is a complete mutant enemy. He is out to just get rid of all the mutants. and that obviously puts him in opposition to the X-Men
Yes.
and their fantastic flying jet.
Yeah, good old jet.
Blackbird, good old Blackbird. With him is Kelly Hu, a very famous actress who plays Lady Deathstrike.
Yep.
And her first feature in this film. We have quite a few sort of smaller X-Men cameos. Kitty Pryde is back. Jubilee as well. And Siren also appears, the X-Men character Siren, if you know them. But when the Strikers men break into the house, there's that one X-Men that has the sonic scream. And that's Siren. Bobby and Pyro as well. Iceman and Pyro.
Iceman and Pyro are here.
As well, yeah. Pyro, one of your favourite mutants.
Pyro's good.
Yeah. And also he features in Deadpool and Wolverine, if you didn't know.
I did, actually.
Yeah, played by the original actor, Aaron Stanford. So good for Pyro. Now, Corey, let's talk about some of the events of this film. I mentioned the opening. I mentioned Nightcrawler jumping around the White House. But what happens after? What's the state of the X-Men after the events of the first film?
Well, currently it's not great. Logan comes back. Wolverine comes back. And everyone's like, Wolverine's back. And he's like, well, everything's fine, right? He's like, nah, the president got killed. He was out looking for a base. Patch Stewart sent him off. Charles Davis sent him off. Yeah. He's like, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. I checked. It's all not there. And he was like, well, there's a mutant that I'm trying to track, but I can't find him. And you actually find it. You can hear him praying, as we heard last time. Nightcrawler is a Christian. Yeah. And he hears him praying. He goes, right, okay, I need. He's over there. I'm not going to tell you about about your past. Figure it out on your own. I'm going to take Scott over here, and we're going to go over there, and we're going to go find this guy, and like Storm is going to go over there, and Rogue's going to go over.
Storm and Jean Grey in her cool coat, which she wears.
Storm and Phoenix are going to go over there. That's it. Only one scene. And we're going to go talk to Magneto over here. Yeah. Everyone else is just going to stay here.
Well, Magneto is in his plastic prison.
He's in prison. He's in prison. He can't get out, and Stryker is at this point doing something to him.
Yes.
But it's later
he's got this stuff on his neck. He's got like the way to depower mutants.
Yeah.
So we can no, it's not really depower mutants. It's a control mutants. Yeah. Using like a little serum or whatever.
He like drops a little thing on the back of the neck.
Yeah, and that's because he's got a son as well. Stryker has a son. Who's Jason, who's a mutant himself.
Who went to Charles School.
Went to Charles School, yes, and who features in X-Men Origins Wolverine, the holy gospel of X-Men films.
Yeah, of course.
He's in that. He's frozen in that film. If you notice him, he's like the child who's like iced because he's got him on ice basically. Stryker, but obviously, so all of Stryker's projects they're costing quite a bit of money for the president. So I wonder how much X2 costed. Yes, Corey, it's the return of. How much is it? Great segue.
Very good.
Let's play. How much is it? Okay. So for X2, we've got a budget of now the max here is $125 million.
Okay, I thought it'd be more.
That is the max budget. Yes. So a bit of speculation here, Corey.
Okay.
We're talking 2003, $125 million. What do you think that the box office gross could have come out of?
I mean, okay, well, it's gonna earn more than that.
Right. Well, here you go. Here's a little bit of extra info. The budget for X-Men 2000 was $75 million, and it came out with a whopping $296 million, nearly $300 million. And this was 2000. We're talking. Wait, no, not even. 2000. Yeah, sorry, I thought it was 1999. It's not. It's 2000. That's why I've called it X-Men 2000, obviously.
Yes.
Yes.
So what did it make? What was it, like 200?
The X-Men 2000.
X-Men 1, yeah.
X-Men 1 made 296 million.
Okay. So
X2, this is the sequel, higher budget.
It's got a higher budget. I feel like as well with the first one.
Fox is all in.
So the first one, people will go, it's the first X-Men film. We'll go see it. It's the first one. So the second one might get less because it might not be as much anticipation. But the first one's a really good film. So I reckon it will attract people to it. You've got more people come in. You might even, arguably have people that might want to go see Nightcrawler, etc., etc. I reckon it's earned more than the first film. Also, probably because the second one's better than the first one. But I don't think it's earned much more. I'm going to go about 400 mil.
Okay, 400.
Yeah.
And Corey, once again, your telepathic skill, you must be Charles Xavier. Your telepathic skills have triumphed again.
Next time you do it, wear a helmet.
Yeah, I
and
will.
And if I get it wrong,
yeah, exactly.
I can't get in your head.
It's 407 million. So I'm willing to give you those seven because it's in the it's not even double digits, like in the hundreds. So it's 407. So I'm willing to give you that. Correct. Well done.
Cool.
Well done.
And also, right, it's a really good film.
Yeah, you just double the intake, and that's great. So that was. How much is it?
How much is it?
How much is it? And yeah, well deserved. This is a fantastic.
It's a really good film.
Really good X-Men film. I'd say it's even better than the first.
I would say it's better than the first.
We start to push for the second. We're talking like Empire Strikes Back. We're talking Godfather 2. We're talking the sequel, which outperforms the original, where they actually build up on the stakes and make it even bigger and even badder, and that's what we like. And we've also got great X-Men like Colossus featuring in this film as well. We've got a role of Colossus. He's the bulletproof man.
Yep.
He deflects all the bullets.
He is only in it for like
he is.
a few
minutes.
He's
got like a cameo. Yeah, he's got a cameo basically. But I feel like there's a sort of rotating cast of mutants that you can work with.
There's a lot of them, and obviously in the later films, there's even more of them.
Yes, yeah.
But it does also help because you get people like Colossus who appear for like 5 minutes. He helps. He saves the children. He comes in.
Saves all the X-Men kids.
It makes it feel a bit more natural, I guess.
Yeah.
Because everyone just kind of appears every now and then, just in the background doing their own thing.
A little detail about Mr. Succession himself, Brian Cox.
Yep.
You might not know that before Anthony Hopkins, Brian Cox was the original actor to portray Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, very nice.
He played him in the film Manhunter.
I have not seen Manhunter.
If you remember, there you go. A great film, actually. Manhunter's a great film. It's based on Red Dragon, the first novel that featured Hannibal Lecter in a large capacity. So, and apparently Singer watched Manhunter, was very impressed and wanted to cast Brian Cox, who again does
it's a really good job.
He never does a horrible job. He's one of those people where he just seems to do an amazing job no matter what he's in. And everyone is bringing their A game. Even Rebecca Romijn, who again took 9 hours to apply Mystique makeup. So she's very angry.
Very angry.
It's coming out in the performance. Even the best bit of when they're underneath in the Alkali Lake facility, and Mystique has that thing where she pretends to be Wolverine to draw Stryker's forces in, and then she does that cool action scene where she's flipping and flying everywhere, and she slides under the
door,
gate and gives him the middle finger, and then she just gets up and she becomes Stryker, and Stryker does a little wave.
Yep.
And I was like, I bet Brian Cox had a bunch of fun doing that as well. But as well as just Rebecca Romijn doing a fantastic job as Mystique.
Yeah.
I think she's better than Jennifer Lawrence. I'm going to drop it now. I know we might get to the later X-Men films, but the more recent ones, let's call them.
If you just compare X1 to X2, then I would agree, yes.
yeah, exactly, yeah. And Nightcrawler as well, another blue man.
Yep.
And Nightcrawler does a great job as well. They've got the accent, they've got the look down. He's not completely blue. They've sort of done this sort of makeup design where he's got the tattoos and Nightcrawler things. It's all the times I've sinned or whatever he says. We know that from our X-Men quiz video. Go watch that. If you want to guess how many hours it took Alan Cummings to become Nightcrawler, significantly less, apparently.
I would assume. I mean, he's
wearing clothes.
Got a lot of clothes.
Yes. He's wearing clothes. He's covered his decency. And it only took him about 4 hours. That's
still a long time,
exactly.
But compared to
it is a lot of time.
Compared to what Mystique had to go through, it's nothing.
Goodness me, nearly half the day to do it. Yeah. And as well, we've got the great effects of not only got the practical effects of the claws of Wolverine, but as well we've got the CGI effects of the Iceman, and also Pyro when he does decide to, burn all those policemen.
And just goes for it a little bit.
The cop comes up with the gun towards Wolverine.
Points it again.
Put the knives down. And then Wolverine goes, I can't.
And just shoots him anyway.
He shoots him anyway. But because he's healing, it's coming right out,
Yeah. And the cop could have shot him again. He decided not to.
All the bullets just fly out of Wolverine because he's got that adamantium skeleton. But who gave him the adamantium skeleton, Corey? That's the mystery.
That is the mystery.
It's Stryker.
It's Stryker, yeah. Unless you watched X-Men Origins Wolverine before it.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. It's Stryker because they meet each other when he attacks the mansion, and Stryker comes in with the helicopters and the missiles and they're trapped behind the ice wall, and Stryker has this touching moment with Wolverine, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I created you. I am your father, Wolverine," and all that thing.
That's exactly what he says.
Yeah, exactly. And then Wolverine has to escape. And a little detail here for the fans of Deadpool and Wolverine like me, when they're driving away in the car, Pyro.
Yeah, I noticed this.
Pyro puts the radio on, and InSync's Bye 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 playing. You know it, Corey. Everyone knows it. I watched X-Men, that. Rogue and Wolverine and Pyro all recoil in hate of the song, and they just turn it off instead.
Yeah.
In Cyclops' car, that's what Cyclops likes to listen to when he's driving down the street, right? Cyclops loves to blast a bit of InSync.
Was that his car?
Song, yeah, it is his car. They take Cyclops' car.
Oh, okay.
That's where they find the secret X-Men communicator.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. They tried to nick Cyclops' car, and that song was featured in the opening.
It is featured in that
the very famous opening, and that was a detail which goes by in seconds in X-Men 2.
Yeah.
You would be forgiven. I didn't even recognise it until I watched the film again and I heard that. I was like, "Oh, it's that same song." Right, Ryan Reynolds was paying attention.
It was, yeah.
He must know his onions.
He's watched all of them and has got a whole list of
list of
random
jokes
stuff
that he could make. Yeah, and one of those jokes was use InSync's Bye 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 in the opening, which is fantastic. Now let's drop a real rating for X-Men 2.
So I enjoyed this more than the first one.
Yes,
the first one got high.
Yeah.
So this one's going to get high as well. I really enjoyed it. It's a really good fun time. The story's great. The effects are great. The acting is. No one really does a bad job.
Yeah. No one does.
You get little bits with Magneto and Xavier, where like
little
sometimes
bits with Rogue and Iceman as well. There's a lot of.
And sometimes where Magneto's like talking to him, but is like kind of under the serum, and you're having a little chat. And it's you come to rescue me. It's like, you should have killed me when you had the chance, and all this sort of stuff. It's really good. So I'm gonna give it. I'll give it a 9.
Ooh.
I was gonna go 8.5, but I thought I'd bump it up a little bit.
I was gonna go 9.5.
Nice.
I really like it, but actually I'll bring it down. I'll bring it to a 9 because I've got a few things that I think that could have been done slightly better, but not really. It's just here and there. Mostly, I feel like some of the X-Men who had more prominence in the first film were sort of delegated a bit less here. Like I would have liked to have seen a bit more from Rogue, a bit more from Storm and Jean, who are kind of put to the side. So I wanted to see them kind of more in the prominence because they've got Halle Berry has got all the tools to be an awesome Storm, as has Anna Paquin with Rogue. And the fact they didn't use they did use them, but they could have used them more. Give them a bit more of a push. That's what I would have liked to have seen. And even James Marsden Cyclops, because at the end of this film we get the sacrifice of Jean Grey. Not spoilers, obviously, for a film that came out in 2003.
About 20 years ago.
Yeah, but at the end we get a sacrifice of Jean Grey. The wave of water's coming. Jean's using her psychic powers to stop it. It's not an explosion of a space shuttle, mind you.
No.
Which is what happened in the comics. I do know some things about the comics, Corey. Well, I know how Jean Grey became Dark Phoenix, but anyway. And we see that at the end of the film. We see the waves.
We see a wave, and it's got like a little phoenix in it.
Out of it, yeah, the Phoenix logo coming out of it. But the sacrifice of Jean Grey, the fact that Cyclops should. Well, I don't say should have a bit bigger reaction, but if we'd seen more of them together, after the odd conversation now and then, we'd perhaps feel more when the sacrifice takes place.
I feel like you get more of
a wave of water, an exploding space shuttle.
Yeah.
Is there a level there? Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's about her saving the team more.
I would assume so, yeah. And obviously, it's fine. I mean, she says goodbye to everyone through Xavier. I'm sure Patrick Stewart was having fun with that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of get. I think you. I mean, you might not get more scenes with her and Wolverine, but it's at least in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, because Cyclops is barely in. He's in it at the start. He helps. Helps Patrick Stewart, and then gets like taken out. Then gets controlled, and then that's pretty much it.
Now we've got to turn to one of the great. Obviously, we've got to turn to the Weekly Rec.
Yes.
And for that, it can only be one man. It's not Patrick Stewart, but.
So you're not going to recommend the Once and Future King, are you?
No, I'm not. Strangely enough, I was right. Maybe it is Patrick Stewart because I was going to recommend. Have you ever seen the show Extras?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen
Ricky
it.
Gervais comedy
Yeah.
where he plays a guy who wants to be an extra, wants to get on these big films, and he keeps sort of worming his way into big productions with big stars in them who cameo.
Yeah.
Now the Patrick Stewart episode is incredibly funny, so maybe I'll recommend both episodes.
Yeah.
There's an Ian McKellen episode as well, so I thought maybe Ian McKellen at the episode and the Patrick Stewart episode as well, right? Because they're both equally funny. There's a particularly funny one scene with Patrick Stewart's episode where he's describing a screenplay he's written of him, basically in a sort of Star Trek parody where he can stare at women and he's got this laser or something that magically makes all of their clothes fall off. It's incredibly funny the way he describes it, right? Because he's a you can tell a man's a versatile actor.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart, when he can do comedy and sci-fi and drama and King Lear and everything to do with that, right? But yes, and Extras also features Ian McKellen as well in season 2, episode 5. So watch that one.
Yep.
And watch the Patrick Stewart episode. Well, I watched Extras a long time ago, so I'd really recommend that. The Patrick Stewart episode is season 1, episode 6.
Nice.
And it's all on Netflix, so go and watch that. I will recommend it a healthy, a fun Patrick Stewart 8.
Nice. That's
Why not?
That's solid.
I'm not the biggest fan of Ricky Gervais either. I
Yeah.
kind of despise the man, but I cannot recognise that he's playing a character. It's not sort of actually him, but it sort of is. It's that weird sort of Office type Ricky Gervais humour. But you kind of you watch it for the guest stars, for Ben Stiller, Daniel Radcliffe, even White Davis, friend of the show, likes to appear in Ricky Gervais features. So yeah, the Patrick Stewart episode and the Ian McKellen episode as well. I'll give them both an 8.
Very good.
I know it's not for Patrick Stewart's bald head, so I'm giving it an 8, in case you're wondering. I could have given it a 9. And
Could have, yeah.
Or a 6 upside down.
Yeah.
You know. Or maybe a 2, but that's too low. So, because 2's got a curve of a...
2 has got a curve at the top, yeah.
Patrick Stewart bald head, so they are. Thank you very much for listening and watching The Real Show. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to come back with X-Men 3.
Yep.
The Last Stand. To round off the X-Men trilogy. Will we end up doing Days of Future Past and the others? Maybe. We'd have to kind of do New Mutants, which I've never seen.
Yeah, I haven't seen either.
Right, okay. The film that was in development hell for a very long time.
Yep.
Then we'd also have to do... Oh, God, forget them now. Dark Phoenix. I think it is called Dark Phoenix, isn't it? The Age of Apocalypse Dark Phoenix.
I believe so, yeah.
I've seen Age of Apocalypse. I've never seen Dark Phoenix. So... we'd have to see how that goes. That's with Sophie Turner's Jean Grey. But thank you very much for listening and watching The Real Show on our YouTube channel or any of our audio platforms. It is a goodbye from me. Goodbye. And one last, Corey, X-Men noise of your choosing. Thank you. Yeah, I'm teleporting away. I'll do the claw noise.
Okay.
It's goodbye from... Right, no, I'm going to say it's a goodbye from me, noise, and then you're going to say it's a goodbye from me,
noise.
Right, you do... I guess you're doing Nightcrawler and I'm doing it, Wolverine. Right, it's a goodbye from me, and a goodbye from Corey.
Noise.
You didn't say goodbye, noise. You can say goodbye, noise. Right, but this is staying in. It's a goodbye from me, goodbye, and a goodbye from Corey.
Goodbye. Noise.